So hi, welcome to Noise Podcast. I'm Shane.
I'm Glory.
And we're here with...
I'm with Tyler Zanin. I'm with the band Youth Fountain.
And we're going to some questions about the upcoming album, Together in Lonesome. So congrats on that, by the way. How do you feel about the response to it so far?
So far, it's pretty good. Yeah. I've been at this for quite a few years now, and just doing emo pop punk stuff. I feel like it's a very niche genre. I mean, you get some people that think it's like whiny, like shitty music, and you get some people that are in love with it. So I don't know. It's cool. This is the third record now, and I don't know. I'm just doing it because it's been a passion of mine since I was like 12 years old, and I'm 28 now. So I'm just giving her, man.
You're just giving it the old puncher's chance,
Try. Yeah. That's all I'm doing at this point, man.
the record smacks. It's really good.
Thanks,
I am a lover.
Oh yeah, and congratulations on that huge tour you've got coming up too, by the way.
Yeah, no, that'll be really cool. I grew up loving Story of the Year, like in high school and everything, and until the day I die was always an anthem, It still is for sure. So I'm stoked. I'm really stoked for that one.
Fuck yeah.
Hell yeah. So is there any meaning behind the album title or cover art?
For the album title, it's just kind of the whole record. I kind of wanted to write something that's just like it's kind of like a love record, just like a broken relationships kind of thing, and that's kind of like, I don't know, the title just kind of like when you're in a relationship and you guys kind of become like strangers, you're together all the time, but you still feel like alone, both parties, which isn't entirely like an original title. I know like a lot of bands have had that kind of concept before, but no one had those words of Together in Lonesome yet. So I was like, oh no, okay, well, I'll use that for the record. No one else has that for the record, so yeah.
Fair enough. And the cover art, anything behind that?
Yeah. But for the album art, it was just kind of like, I told like the artists like what the concepts of the record was, and he just kind of came up with something, and I liked it. I was like, cool, man. Yeah, let's fucking go for it. And it's like this really cool, trippy painting he did. He did a really good job for sure.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
So can you tell us a little bit about your writing process for the album?
Yeah. So pretty much like when I released the last record, the sophomore record, Keepsakes and Reminders, at the end of 2021, kind of toured that all through 2022. Kind of wrote a few like new ideas and things all through 2022 just on my laptop, where I have like Logic, and I just kind of like demo out like riffs and everything and kind of come up with song structures. And by that time, like when the year album cycle kind of came up, like Jake Round from Pure Noise was just kind of like, oh, I think we should kind of go into just doing a new record like as soon as we can, the sooner the better. And like at that point, I didn't really have like that many like demos. I maybe had like, I don't know, 2 or 3 possible new songs. And also like I released 2 other songs that I thought could have been on this record, but then they kind of packaged it as like a Keepsakes and Reminders Deluxe with those 2 singles. And then I was kind of like out a few songs, and I was like, fuck. So essentially what I did for a few of the songs, like Roses in My Backpack, A Few Notes for Orpheus, Haiku, Clarity, Twin Flame, like a big chunk of those songs, I wrote a long time ago, like when I had ideas when I was like 16, like because I was like still writing songs back then. They weren't nearly as good as what they are now, obviously, because I got to take them into a producer, and he helped out with like making them something really special. But it was kind of cool because those were like really old songs and ideas that I had when I was just a teenager. And I demoed them out again, tried to make them a little bit better, and then I brought them to the studio, and he just really shaped them into something like super, super sick. So that was really cool and like kind of nostalgic for me, just to be like, these were songs that I don't think anyone was ever going to hear. So I'm glad that they were kind of changed into something really sweet and special. And yeah, I think that was a really cool part of the writing process and something kind of unique. That's kind of cool um, to think about. And then a few other like the intro track, the outro track, like acoustic track on there. And then a few other singles on there were kind of like new that I just kind of wrote from the ground up, being like, okay, well, I got to write a song. I'm gonna kick my ass into high gear and just go for it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And then Fallen Short, the first single, was actually all instrumentally a song written by Anton, who was the producer of the record. He was just kind of like, I have this song and there's no lyrics really to it, so do you want to give it a shot? So I was like, okay. And I kind of wrote some stuff, and he kind of like helped change melodies and different lyric ideas and stuff. So that song is just like, I just kind of feel like I just sung on it. Like it's not really anything that I wrote,
Yeah.
but that was still cool though, a cool experience because I know that there is lots of writers out there that do that. You know, there's solo artists that hire all these different writers and everything because you know when you're one person you can only kind of do so much sometimes.
Mhm.
That's for
Yeah.
sure. After a while, you kind of run out of like the tricks up your sleeve of how you write, for sure.
Yeah. I can't believe like just how fast this like entire album cycle and even down to the recording process, how fast everything happened to the point where you're just like, I had to pull like 5 songs that I wrote when I was
Yeah.
16. I never thought I was going to put out and rework them.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and it was kind of like a gamble, you know. Like I knew that they might have potential to be something cool, but it's just like I don't know, man. Like the way I've always written, of just like I don't know. I can't just like it's really hard for me to just like sit down and just write anything random. Like I'm not like that. I've always just kind of wrote songs when like I don't feel really good emotionally, and when
Mhm.
I'm kind of going through like just terrible shit in my life. That's just like how I've always wrote songs. So like if I'm kind of just like forced to write a song, sometimes you're just kind of like, well, I don't know what the hell to write about. You
Yeah.
know, like
Yeah.
kind of going for it. And I don't know. I think like some people for this project, at least like the real like dedicated fans that really like Youth Fountain, are always like, oh, I like your stuff because like it means something to me, and there's I can relate to it, and it's like sad, and I don't know. That's kind of just like how a lot of the fans really are that like the stuff. So if I was just to write music that just kind of like I don't know was shallow and just kind of about anything random, I don't know if any of the dedicated fans really like it that much anymore. So
Mhm.
I'm glad that that this record has a lot of really deep cutting lyrics that I was able to bring back and bring up to surface from like my past. So yeah, I'm really stoked about that.
Oh yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. So, what song off this album took the longest to write, and which one is your personal favorite?
I think the one that took the longest to write was Together in Lonesome, the last track on the record, for sure. That one, yeah, because there was a lot of different like things going on. Like I had a demo of it, and I was never really truly satisfied with how it kind of sounded. And Anton, when working with him, he kind of just again like helped to like shape it all into something really tight and threw in like new ideas of like some like guitar noodles in there and like fucking I don't know, just like different like pauses and breaks and a few different lyrics that kind of made it sound better. And so that was really cool. And I think my favorite song is either Rose in My Backpack or A Few Notes for Orpheus, or my personal favorites that I've been like uh, after I've always written a record, like I can always I always see like which song I'm kind of gravitating towards a lot. I'm like, this song I just feel is like strong and I feel like it's the best song. And I think either those two are like pretty tied for me. But I would think Roses in My Backpack, which is I'm stoked just came out like a couple days ago. So that's really, really tight. Yeah, that's my favorite for sure.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. Perfect.
So how'd the tracklist of the album come about? Did you write the opener with the opener, closer be closer, shuffle around and see what fits? What was that process like?
Yeah, I did write like I had the intent of like the opener song being like an opening track for sure, and the closer being the closer. Like I just like I was able to just hear it, and, like especially the closer. I was like, this sounds like a closer too. Like it's like a kind of not really like I guess kind of like a ballad a little
Mhm.
bit, and the opener just kind of had like this good, I don't know, classic Youth Fountain like chords that I would use, and like a lot of in my past albums of like openers, and just how the lyrics kind of just came to me. It just seemed like a good fit for sure. And then everything else for the track listing, honestly, like I had an idea of it, but things had to be like changed afterwards because like the label was like, this needs to be a single. We feel, this needs to be a single, and then with that being said, they have to be like closer to the top of the record and all that kind of stuff. So there's a lot of things that went into that. But I'm happy with how the track list sounds. I think it all
Mhm.
fits. Like either way, I listen to all my albums on like if I have a fan like a band that I'm listening to, I just put it on shuffle.
Mhm.
Oh, you're one of
I
those people. No.
yeah,
Disgusting.
yeah. I don't even care anymore. It's funny. I used to listen to them all like in order, and then like my phone just like randomly just I think I like accidentally pressed a button or something, and then just put it on shuffle, and I'm like, oh, I can't listen to the album in order anymore. Oh well, fuck
I
it.
mean,
You
like
just threw it all to the wind after that. You're like, oh,
you're just
oh
like,
well.
my
Eh.
phone just let me decide. Like,
Yeah, like I don't care anymore. I'm too lazy
I,
to figure it out.
I get that
It's a
way.
one button. Sorry.
I get that way, like with the shuffling of a record after I listened to an album so many fucking times that it's like listening to it in order is physically pain, even though it's like my favorite fucking album. I have to
Yeah,
shuffle it to like get a new experience. But if I'm
yeah.
listening to a new record, I can't shuffle it. I need the full experience.
No,
Exactly.
absolutely. Yeah, I don't know, but yeah, I think that this record, the way it all flows, it suits it. It's I'm happy with how it turned out for sure.
Yeah.
It's my personal favorite record of the three. I know it's like common for bands to say that after they always put out a record. This is like the best album we have, but I don't know. I genuinely think it's one of the better ones because there's all like it was done very professionally. The first record, I just kind of like did it on my laptop. The second record was also I just did on my laptop, but I just kind of they were all just like demos, and they were kind of made into like just there was not much production put into it. It was just like recorded a little bit better. I had a producer that like used real amps, like we did real drums. We recorded the vocals properly, which was cool. But this record was like put into like actual production, having someone like really dissect the songs and like make them stronger, bring up the elements of things that make it sound better.
Mm.
It just like, and it was all done like, down in LA at like a sweet studio. And, yeah, and I just think the song's really catchy too. So I just think it's one of the better. It's the better one of the three. So I'm stoked on that.
Hell yeah. Well,
Hell yeah.
I think that like as cliche as that is for an artist to say like this
Yeah,
is our best album yet, it's
yeah,
like it that should be the case. Like at that current point in time when you are asked
yeah.
that question, it should be your best piece of music. You shouldn't be going
Exactly.
backwards.
No,
Exactly.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Fuck
For
yeah.
sure.
Hell yeah. So, would you be able to tell us where your headspace is at while you're creating this record?
For sure. It was definitely, thankfully, in a darker place because people seem to like my music when I don't feel good. It was like kind of the beginning of the year, I guess, after just going through some, seasonal depression.
Mhm.
So I
Yeah.
feel that kind of helps.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, and like it was cool too, like bringing up like kind of going through those older songs and kind of just like hearing my old demos of what I had when I was like 15, 16, and being like, okay, this is how those songs sounded. How can I make them sound better demoing them out now because I have an excuse to like redo them. So this will be fun. And then doing it, I just kind of came like I would go through the lyrics that I wrote before and be like, this is horrible. I need to kind of maybe think of something that's less cringy. So it
Mhm.
was kind of cool doing that and kind of I don't know, kind of putting my brain back into how I felt when I was that age.
Mhm.
And kind of doing that too is like, I don't know, kind of fucks you up a little bit because it kind of like reminds you of all the really shitty things that you kind of went through. Like,
Mhm.
it was a little bit traumatic for sure. But
Mhm.
Mhm.
I don't know. It's cool though because now people can I don't know. People like those songs like off of the first record that were like written at a really shitty time in my life, and thankfully with these songs they were also written at a really shitty time in my life. So I'm like, I don't know, guys, you gotta like this stuff because it's sad. So
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
know. That's what this seems like a lot of the fans like of my stuff. So
So
I
knowing
don't know.
that's what the fans like, do you ever like find yourself purposefully putting yourself in that headspace to write a song that you think your fans would like, or is it always just like that just is where you're at when it's time to write a record?
Yeah, I think that like at least at least with the second record, there was some points where I had demos and like no lyrics written, and I wasn't really feeling like I wasn't going through anything really too bad. So I was just kind of like, I don't know, I'm just gonna force some lyrics out of me and just see how it comes out. And like I tried that, and like maybe some people kind of saw that. It still like is a cool record, but like some people maybe just tell it's like filler. Maybe I don't know, but at least with this, like thankfully I was still kind of not in the greatest of headspace, but like enough to, motivate myself to keep like writing some songs and write some new lyrics and everything, which was cool. Um, but I don't know, man. Like, it's tough too. Also, like when I think about the future of like writing this music, and it's just like as I'm getting older, I'm gonna be like 29 next year. It's like I don't know. Sometimes I feel like I'm just like I can't just like keep writing like fucking sad emo songs my whole life. Like I don't know. Like I'm not gonna. I don't want to feel like a fucking miserable piece of shit for the rest
Yeah,
of my life.
is
I mean?
making
Like
yourself feel miserable for art sustainable?
yeah, so it's like I don't know. I think that like maybe the come time if I'm still going strong and people want another record for the next one, I might do something a little bit different for sure.
Wow.
Because I don't know. Life's gotten a lot better for me.
Yeah,
That's
So it's
good.
like,
you're
like I don't know. I don't know. People can have three really sad, depressing records. This next one's a really depressing record, so I think
Yeah.
it'll be time for a change. Maybe my next album will be my One Direction phase. So
Hell yeah. I
okay.
fucking support that shit head on. I do just want to say it's a big fucking step to be able to say, hey, maybe because I'm starting to feel a little better mentally, I'm in a better
yeah,
spot. Maybe it's not the best idea for me to continue making this type of music. So just being able to say that is a big fucking deal. So
yeah,
that's
for sure, for
Mhm.
sure. Yeah,
Absolutely.
I don't know. It might actually help me like grow as a person too. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
like, yeah, I don't know. I'm stoked though. I think this next one is like it'll be great, like a great fan service for the fans that like Youth Fountain, and hopefully it helps catapult the band a little bit. That'd be nice.
Mhm.
Um, but like at the end of the day, I want to make this a career too. Like I want to make money off of it. I want to be able to sustain myself and sustain like a proper living and and I got to do proper business moves that make sense. So. And unfortunately, along the way, being an artist, when doing that, you can lose a lot of fans that you used to have,
Hmm.
which kind of sucks. But I don't know. That's just like kind of part of being an artist, unfortunately, I
It's
guess.
it's
Yeah.
part of the business, and people don't want to like admit that their favorite bands have to make money if they want to keep doing it, and they have to like make the
Yeah,
business decision that makes them the most money.
Mhm.
yeah, and especially with just like people that like write emo sad shit,
Mhm.
like I don't know, man. Like, how long can one person who's writing sad songs like really keep writing sad songs for the rest of their life? Unless like I don't know, you do a writing session with someone who's also clinically depressed, and that's really like a lot of fucked up issues. I'm happy that I've even been able to do three records as a project. Like that's a win in itself, and I'm happy that I've come this far. And I know that like me as like a fucking 15-year-old kid could see what I've done with the songs. They'd be so stoked about that. So I've done all that I can.
Absolutely,
I'm happy.
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
So how do you recommend your fans to listen to this album for the first time? Should they do it in the car with friends and dark with headphones on? Is workout album, party album? What do you personally recommend?
I would say it's a listen to the album alone in the dark with headphones on when you're very depressed. that's
Okay.
That's the theme.
vibe. That's the theme. When you're very depressed and when you feel like everything in your life is going wrong and you feel like you've lost everything, because that is like the theme of the record, is like losing everything
Mhm.
of like that ever meant something to you. And that's definitely, I mean, who knows, maybe it could be a party record for that. Maybe you can listen to
Maybe.
that. Maybe you can listen to that while you're at a fucking club and like dance and shit. Who knows? It's like upbeat. It's like an upbeat record still. There's like
Yeah.
there's one like slow acoustic song, but like it's still like fast and upbeat. But
Yeah.
I don't know. It's for the depressed, and that is what the fans like. So they get another solid record of some depressed songs. So I'm happy about that.
All right.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
So this one should be super, super quick off the top of your head. I want you to describe this album for new listeners in 3 words. No more, no less.
In 3 words,
Mm-hmm.
I hate myself.
Damn! Are we locking that in?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I guess so. That's probably the first thing that came to my mind. So yeah,
I feel like, as fucked up as that is, I mean, we did just have a 10-minute conversation with the Headspace question about
Yep.
all of
Yeah.
that, which
About where you
basically
were,
sums that up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
fair. We'll take it.
Yeah.
Yeah, there is 3 words that came to my mind. So that's it.
You got it. You got it.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
So in that same train of thought, is there a certain feeling or emotion you want listeners to have while going through the album?
I don't know. Just know that you're not alone. You know, like there's lots of people that go through horrible things in life, and you're never alone. And you know, it's as weird and strange as life is. You know, at least there's some people that can make some sad music and you can relate to it, because that's what I had growing up. You know, like I would listen to songs that made me feel a little less alone and feel like I'm not the only one going through terrible, breakups and traumatic, shit that I've gone through. Like feeling like, yeah, you're not alone when you feel like you don't deserve anything in life, and you're not alone when you feel like no one loves you.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Hell yeah. So, are you able to touch on any particularly challenging or standout moments from the creation of this album, positive or negative?
Like, what do you mean by that question?
I mean, like, usually some bands are like, we had some issues in the studio. The studio flooded when this happened. And this is a crazy thing that happened, or just minor things that might have been exciting or something.
Honestly, like it went like really smooth. Like, I mean, it was a little weird to think that I'm going to have to go to like Los Angeles to make a record. It was like kind of weird, having to get my session drummer to fly down to go drum for like at the very end of the record, because like we did pre-production for all the demos that I had and like kind of rewrote them, and then we had to re-record guitars and then re-record like the bass, and like actually bass was done last, funny enough. It was like re-recording all guitars and leads, and then I did vocals over it, and he was also doing like production and like almost pre-pro again when we'd come up with ideas. Like it was a different experience, because I'm used to just like recording an album or just did it myself, just doing everything that I did by myself. And it was kind of a little bit like different to think about that I'm going to be working with someone who I've never worked with before, and just he's going to go in there and change things, and hoping that it doesn't like affect the sound too much of like how the Youthbound sounds and everything. So that was a little bit like terrifying, but like honestly, like I trusted the process and just kind of went with the flow, and I'm really excited about how it all turned out, because I couldn't be happier. It's like super super solid. And anything else like weird though, like that's probably it. Like nothing too crazy. I'm probably gonna think of something really. I don't know. One time, I think I remember I was going into the studio and I had like a bunch of groceries, and I think my bag ripped. And I like fucking all these beans and all this shit just exploded all over the ground. It's like the
Oh,
weirdest.
it's
I know.
awful.
Yeah, everything. Oh yeah, that was shitty. That was a weird thing that happened in the studio.
Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah. Oh
Yeah.
my god. Damn.
Yeah. Yeah. Probably something's gonna come to me later. Some like fucked up thing that like happened. But um yeah, nothing too traumatic or anything too crazy. I mean, yeah, it was just a good solid experience for sure.
Hell yeah.
The beans story does sound a little traumatic though, so don't
Yeah,
discount that. That sounds awful.
yeah. Oh yeah, it was a jar of pickles too.
Dude,
Yeah,
Not the
you just made it
yeah.
worse. You just made it like
Yeah.
20 times worse.
Not the
Yeah.
pickles.
Yeah, it was pickles too.
So for this question, we want you to picture you're on tour, you're at a gas station for a rest stop. What is your snack of choice?
Oh, definitely not corn nuts. Anything but corn nuts.
Oh my god. What's up with corn nuts? You have a
They're
history
just
with those?
evil. They're just evil. They're just like I just see them and I get angry. You know?
You know,
Like,
I used to be like that until I tried them, and now
yeah,
I'm a little bit of a defender. I won't die for them, but you know, I'll
yeah.
speak up a little bit.
They're just lame. Like there's any other snack you could have. but
Point
just
blank, they're
don't
just
have
lame.
corn nuts. Yeah. I think
Fucking funny.
yeah. I think my snack of choice if I was going in there, I love white cheddar popcorn. That is
Yeah.
like one of my favorite snacks. I fuck so hard with white cheddar popcorn.
Mhm.
God, honestly, sometimes at like Love's, they have like some pretty good like the taquitos that are like steak and cheese taquitos. Those are really
Mm.
good. Sometimes I kind of I don't know. I fuck with like pep and ched. Like have like some like pepperoni and cheese. Those do a number on my stomach every time. Those are
Yeah.
pretty good. God, yeah, and like honestly, just like I don't know, like fucking Mr. Peanut, like salted, like honey roasted, like cashews are pretty good.
Hell
Those
yeah.
are good. Um, but definitely white cheddar popcorn,
Mhm.
1000%. That is my weakness. Yeah,
Nice.
Hell yeah. Fucking love
yeah,
white cheddar popcorn.
yeah.
So, on the topic of food, if the band was a dish, what dish would the band be and why?
Oh,
Mhm.
damn, that's a really good question.
Thank
I would
you.
say, I would say it would be a bowl of black coffee.
A bowl of black coffee.
This really disgusting, bitter, like diner black coffee. Like you eat it as a soup.
Are you trying to sell the band right now? Do you want people
Yeah.
to like you?
Yeah, I don't know. There seems like there's a niche group of people that like the bowl of just really bitter, gross black coffee. So
As soup.
as
And
soup.
Well, you're drinking it with a spoon.
Yeah, you gotta eat with a spoon. Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
You know
Uh,
what? I'll leave you to it. That's fine.
Yeah.
That's fair. That's fair.
There's no nutrients, but it will get you like really hyped up
Yeah.
and it'll get you ready for the day.
Yeah. Might throw you into a little anxiety attack as well. Then.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
definitely.
See, now the dots are connecting. I understand it now.
Yes, and it definitely throw you into an existential crisis.
100%.
Absolutely.
1000%. You have to eat it alone at a diner when it's raining in like I don't know, like the middle of November and like it's cold and you're like, God damn, what am I doing with my life?
There you go. You're selling it. You're selling it. Love
That's
it.
Yeah.
So for the last couple questions, go shift completely away from music and go straight to death row.
Boom.
So if you're on death row, what would your last meal be with a drink?
Wonderful question.
Thank you.
Honestly, for me, I would probably have like God, like this might seem a little like I don't know, like if it's possible. Um a meal by my grandparents
Mhm.
cooked like they cook like really good like lasagna and um like I don't know steak and lobster like that would be like it has to be cooked by them though like though
Yeah.
my favorite food of all time is like what my grandparents cook. Like that would be it. Like there's no other food I'd ever have. Their food, their lasagna that they make, insane. That would be my last meal for sure.
Hell yeah.
No question.
Hell yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Awesome. And if you could live in one fictional world for a week, where would you live?
Ooh,
Mm-hmm.
good question.
Thank you.
Fuck, I don't know. Probably like Kakariko Village from like Legend of Zelda.
The Legends of Zelda. Hell yeah.
Yeah. Go fucking. I mean, I'm like short. I'm basically like a little fucking elf. So yeah, probably that.
All right. So I thought I'm asking the last question. Every single person that we've spoken to have said that it is the most important question. What's your favorite color?
My favorite color is baby blue.
Damn, beautiful
Solid
ass
color.
color.
Yeah, that's my favorite color. I love sky blue, baby blue. There's something about that color that I don't know. It's my favorite color. It has been since I was a kid.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
So as I said, that's all the questions we have today. Is there anything that you would like to plug?
Honestly, just if anyone's listening to this, thank you so much for supporting Youth Fountain. Thank you for enjoying the music that I have written over the past like a very long time. So just yeah, thank you. And I couldn't be more grateful that any of you guys give a shit about the music that I write. So thank you.
Hell yeah. All right. Well, thank you, Silas. This has been Tyler from Youth Fountain, and we have been the Good Noise Podcast.